In the 1930s, science fiction writer Stanley G. Weinbaum wrote a story containing the notion of goggles that allow users to experience different sights, sounds, smells, and even tastes of an entirely different reality than they were currently living in. This unfathomable story has become a reality for us in the modern day, virtual reality. Whether it be Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, or more for us, PSVR. VR has had many applications for us in the modern day and has potential to put users front row at a concert or share the same space as another miles away from them. A few days ago, I had my first go at VR with the PSVR, and it has completely changed my perspective on the emerging tech. What's going on, guys? It's TKD123 aka Kevin here, and we're going to talk about my first experience at VR. The year is 2010, the first prototype of the Oculus Rift was made, and ever since that point, nothing was the same for the VR platform. Gone were the days of being transported to another reality being a pipe dream. It was truly attainable with the introduction of the Rift, and then later on the more advanced HTC Vive. The Vive uses infrared tracking and uses base stations to monitor the user's location and direction they are facing. While being more sophisticated than the Rift, it also showed the start of companies seeing VR as a worthy investment and something to improve on, especially seen with Facebook purchasing Oculus Rift for $2 billion. It was clear this was not a fad that would die easily. It was a clear shift after 2010 that companies started to take VR very seriously, but also users believed in the tech as well. Founder of Colin's Last Stand, Colin Moriarty, called the tech, quote, a religious experience, and many agreed. Once the masses got their hands on the tech and the software that came with it, people also shared the same testament. The testament that this tech had the potential to be, if not, the real deal. And so I was at home typing up a script for this channel, and then all of a sudden I got a text message from my friend who informed me that he had been gifted a PSVR unit for his birthday. Him, knowing I'm a huge PlayStation fan and hadn't tried VR yet, invited me over to his apartment to try it out. So me, being very curious about VR ever since 2010 and ever since the emergence of the PSVR, I could not refuse. I went over as soon as I can. The first aspect that caught my eye of the unit was the amount of wires needed to get a VR unit up and running. Multiple HDMI cables, power cords, USB ports, and a dedicated processing box all became a very convoluted and messy setup. And to be fair, he was running the PSVR on a base PS4, but it seems like a definite problem that may be solved in new iterations of the PSVR or with the PlayStation 5. It just made the whole unit seem finicky even way before we got to the games. Albeit my friend was also getting used to the tech itself, having it only for a few hours at that point. We had multiple issues with tracking, sizing of the headset, camera placement, move-ons malfunctioning, and needing to reset the headset multiple times. And so what I took away from the VR unit experience from a technical standpoint is that setting up the VR for yourself or switching off between other people is similar to focusing a camera or framing a shot. It's tedious, but when you get it right, it is truly right, and the experience is something that I've never experienced before in my entire life. With the VR unit set up and all of its functions functioning, it was time to get into the games. The first game I played was the demo to Moss, a game that intrigued me during E3 and I was eager to try out. While having Moss running in VR wasn't necessary, with you just being able to get different points of view of the game as if you're looking down from above, there was something endearing about it. Analyzing puzzles in VR is so different than on the traditional screen. Being able to peer around corners and truly examine the game and plan out my next moves was something that was very fun and intuitive. Also, come on, Moss is cute as shit. Right after that, I played a little game called Until Dawn Rush of Blood. After playing through Until Dawn in October, I especially wanted to try this one out. This is where I understood the sickness people had with VR, as this game really threw me for a loop. You play on a train cart similar to a ride at Disneyland, and in that exact same manner, the cart goes really fast, twists, turns, drops, rises. I didn't expect to feel the drop of free falling on a roller coaster in VR, but I did. It was so surreal. My body would lean forward as if the mind really thought I was on the ride. I had never experienced that before, and it truly made me sick. Not exactly to the point where I had to stop playing all entirely. I just had to take a little break, drink a little water, and then get right back into it, and I still felt the same type of sickness fatigue in my stomach, but I powered through it. In terms of the mechanics of Until Dawn Rush of Blood, I truly enjoyed the motion controls of shooting, reloading, switching weapons, and all the rest. It was arguably the best time I had with controlling a game with motion, and I remember thinking how intuitive controlling the aiming was, and it also truly showed how motion controls have improved over the years since the Wii and the godforsaken Microsoft Kinect. The way the VR unit and the PlayStation camera tracked my every move with my arms really was a breath of fresh air of how polished it felt. And the last game I played was Job Simulator. Albeit brief, what was great about playing Job Simulator was the sheer moments of aha moments while I was playing. While I could follow the orders given from the robot spot, I was able to interact with a ton of things in the game that I didn't think I'd be able to. Throwing things in the office, drinking coffee, turning the monitor on and off, turning the printer on and off, all of it worked how you would expect it to work. I think that's my major takeaway with playing with the PSVR. Every game I played had mechanics that felt real. After I was done, I passed the PSVR headset to my other friend who was interested in playing Skyrim on the PSVR. I saw him flailing around a sword, running away from dragons, getting very scared, and then there was one moment in his playthrough of Skyrim where he encountered a glitch where he crouched and he somehow, when he was standing up, got catapulted millions and millions of miles into the sky, and that definitely made him very sick. He fell, he collapsed. He definitely did not enjoy that aspect of the PSVR unit, and of course that's not the hardware's fault, that's more of the devs' fault and how they are porting these games onto VR and the glitches they encounter. While I'm not sure how widespread that issue is on Skyrim or if there's anything like that in other games, I would definitely advise that we definitely try to steer away from that here in 2018. However, with all that aside, even him being not so much of a gamer was able to pick up the controls, put on the VR headset, and really hone in and really master his controls in a very timely fashion. So that is just a testament to show how well they have designed these controls on the VR unit, not only in the hardware but also in the software as well. Now, am I about to finish recording this video and purchase a PSVR? Probably not. Am I considering it? More than ever. It's one thing to hear feedback and opinions on PSVR from other sources, but it's challenging to promote tech like VR. It's hard to advertise an experience like VR, but trying it will certainly get you to really consider it. Also, cliches aside, using the PSVR truly made me feel like I was in the world I was playing, whether it be moving elements of the world in mods, shooting enemies in Until Dawn Rush of Blood, or completing tasks in Job Simulator. The experience was really eye-opening and educational on what VR has become over the years. While I may not be going out to the store and picking up a PSVR unit in the near future, a new model could completely sell me on a purchase. And when we look at Sony and PlayStation, with them dedicating entire sections of events and press conferences to PSVR alone, it truly does show that they are backing the hardware. And with VR titles totally eclipsing the notion of just tech demos and becoming real true games like The Impatient, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, and Bravo Team, it really does show that PlayStation is not going to let up on the software being brought to the PSVR unit. And who knows, maybe I see a game get dropped here in 2018, or I go over to my friend's house and experience something that's truly insane that really blows my mind, and I may be walking out of a nearby Walmart or Best Buy with a PSVR unit. So make sure to let me know down here in those comments below. Do you yourself have a PSVR unit? Do you like it? Do you use it on a daily basis? Do you use it once a month? Let me know how you use your PSVR unit down in the comments below. And make sure while you're done there to check out our description where you can find our helpful links, our Twitter, all of our good stuff over there. And also to check back here on the channel frequently and even subscribe if you will do so, because we have plenty of things planned in 2018 featuring a new podcast, new shows, all the good stuff that are centered around PlayStation here on PlaystationFollower. And make no mistake, all the creators here on PSFollower are dedicated to this channel and really want to make the best things that we can make, and we are committed to doing that here in 2018. And we'll be in those comments below, replying to every single comment that you post and making sure that you are all getting addressed with any concerns or any comments you may have about the channel in the future of 2018. Thank you all for watching and supporting to any capacity you do so, and as always, keep on following.